Hey, so if you clicked on this video, that means that you want to learn how we are booking 10 meetings per day on autopilot completely naturally. Now, whether you came here from my Twitter or whether you're watching this on YouTube, this is all universal, right? If you have any sort of agency or coaching business that works B2C or you service some sort of B2C client, for example, home improvement, right? Home improvement clients service consumers. This video is for you. I'm going to show you how you can get insane results that not one single cold email campaign, not one cold calling campaign, nothing will get you results like this, right? And I'm going to tell you for free. I'm not selling this as a service. I do this for my agency and I'm just sharing it with you, all right? So just to get into it. Now, it's going to be hard to compare something like Facebook Messenger, which is how we're going to generate these leads, to something like cold calling, right? Because cold calling is a lot more of an intimate connection, right? Because 100 cold calls take a lot of time, the science still ends up making sense here, right? So obviously, if you do 100 cold calls and 100 Facebook messages, the 100 cold calls will be more effective, right? But in the time that it takes you to do 100 cold calls, you could probably go and end up doing 300 Facebook messages, right? And in that situation, the 300 Facebook messages is more likely to book more meetings than your 100 cold calls will, right? So that's kind of like the idea of you can't compare this directly to cold email. You can't compare this directly to cold calling. You can't compare this directly to paid ads, right? But on the other hand, this is very comparable to outreach in general because in effectiveness, it's still a lot better, right? Now, cold calling is also a relatively difficult task to outsource, right? If you want to do sales in, for example, the United States or the United Kingdom, you're going to need to find someone who speaks English without an accent. Now, for those of you who live in the U.S., you guys know that when you get a call and it's like some heavy accent, you just hang up. I know I do personally. If someone calls me and they have like a heavy accent, I'm just gonna hang up. I don't really want whatever it is you're selling, right? And it's not intentional, but it's like assuming familiarity, right? I'm sure you guys have all heard about the term assuming familiarity, right? It's like the complete opposite. You know that you don't know anybody who has that accent, so it's just not a good sales tactic. Now, if you're going to outsource that and you're going to want someone who has no accent whatsoever, you're going to need locals, right? Meaning you're going to need people who are from the United States and from the United Kingdom. And those people aren't going to work for pennies, right? People from other countries like Philippines, Brazil, relatively speaking, they work for pennies, right? You're going to have to go and hire someone from the US or the UK full time. And if you pay them just minimum wage, right, you're paying them a lot of money, right? So that's obviously not ideal, right? You'd be taking on a big overhead and, that's not the reason you made an agency. Now, messenger outreach, on the other hand, can be done by anyone who can speak, read, and write English, right? As long as they know English, they can do messenger outreach. I mean, it's just typing at the end of the day, right? So, like, for example, someone from the Philippines or Brazil, right, they can do messenger outreach without a problem, but they can't cold call, right? So, for example, in the Philippines, English is actually the primary language, right? And almost everybody in the country knows it. And Filipinos, right, especially for the SDR position, sales development representative, are some of the hardest working individuals I've personally ever worked with, right? So I love people from the Philippines, right? They such hard workers. I have nothing bad to say about them, right? Now, because of the massive currency conversion between the US dollar and the Filipino peso, right, you can get someone to work for you for literally full time, right? They will give all of their effort and attention for like $200 to $300 a month, right? When in the US, that could be a day's pay, right? So it's obviously a very, very big difference. Now, meaning hiring a virtual assistant from the Philippines and having them do Facebook Messenger outreach for you, right, could result in a steady lead flow that otherwise it'd take you legitimately countless hours of cold calling, right? And this is coming from someone who used to cold call, right? Myself and my partner, I have a partner in this company, we used to do 100 cold calls each every single day, Monday through Friday. So it'd be 200 calls, right? And then 200 times 5 is 1,000. So we'd do 1,000 calls a week. We would book not even a quarter of what we're booking now, and we were still doing pretty good, right? We would probably get, maybe 3 or 4 meetings a day while we were cold calling, but now it's like 10 to 12, maybe even 15 on some days. And it's in my sleep. I literally wake up with notifications on my phone that meeting booked, meeting booked, meeting booked. So it's very convenient, right? Now, here's the thing. You also will only end up paying those VAs if they actually book you the meetings, right? Meaning the whole situation is risk-free, right? Now, let me explain it like this, right? For example, we have our VAs send 300 messages per day or 9,000 messages per month. We have 3 VAs, meaning in a day, we're sending 900 messages. On average, we have a 1% booking rate. So that's 9 meetings per day, right? That goes up and down, right? We have 15 some days, then we have 6 some days, right? But I'd say on average, you get 10 meetings a day, which is around 70 meetings a week, right? Which is 240 meetings a month. Now, if you're booking 9 meetings a day in this situation, we're talking about like our bare bone minimum. That's 270 meetings per month, right? And for that, we pay them $1,500 each, which is a very, very good wage. For someone in the Philippines, that's a very good wage. You're doing 2.5 times over the average salary, right? You could even do less and you probably still find people to work, right? We just do a little bit of a higher wage just because we want our people to be like very, very dedicated, right? Meaning you're paying $1,500 for 270 sales opportunities, right? Now, if you were to sign only one client from the 270, you would be having a 0.003% close rate, right? Or I'm sorry, it's 1/3% close rate. So it's 0.003% close rate, right? Now, unless you're like legitimately like Guinness World Records, horrible at sales, absolutely terrible, like godforsaken horrible, like there's no way you're going to close at that rate. Like you're like, even if you have a 1% closing rate and you're selling like a somewhat of a high ticket service, you're already in the green, right? Like for us, we have a lot of performance deals. So a client could end up going and paying us $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month, maybe $1,000 a month, right? It depends on how good we do for them. And then we also have retainers, right? So one client for us is immediately in the green, Meaning for us, this is basically, there's no risk, right? I mean, I'm only going to end up paying them if they get results. And by get results, I mean book meetings. And if they book meetings, I'm going to sign a client. And if I sign a client, I have no problem paying them, right? You make me $1 million, I'll gladly pay you $100,000. I live by that, right? If someone helps me make money, I'm never going to have a problem paying them, right? Now, I'm sure you see how this could be extremely profitable, right? But then the question arises, how do I get these VAs, right? Now, this part is where most people get stumped. There's a lot of websites. I'm just going to do you guys a favor. I'm going to tell you right now, onlinejobs.ph. Onlinejobs.ph is the website to find talent from the Philippines. By far. It only costs like $60 or $70 a month or something like that. You only need it for a month, obviously. You don't need to keep holding the subscription. You can put out a job application. You can put specific skills that you want, right? I would recommend English, sales, and CRM. Those are the 3 that I put. And people will just come to you, right? And what I do is I just tell them right away, when you apply, send me a voice recording. Do not send me your resume, your CS, whatever. Don't care. Do not care. Send me a voice recording, and that's it. They send me a voice recording. I go through like 100 applicants. 50 of them sound like they're literally Native Americans. And not Native American, but people like who are from the United States of America, right? And those people, I take them and I interview them, right? I have a quick 20-minute call, right? It's even short. It's like 10 minutes each. I speak to them. I make sure that they're actually about it, right? They're actually looking to they're actually looking for work. This isn't like a side hobby for them. They're actually looking to work. And if they are, we onboard them. We have a complete onboarding thing, which I'll show you like later in the picture or later in this video, but it's a very seamless process. And when it starts, I don't have to do anything. The meetings just get plotted into my calendar and that's it, right? Now, just a reminder, these people might be very, very hard workers, but they're not going to just figure out your business for you. You still obviously need to create all of the high level things, right? So assets, scripts, you're still going to have to do tracking. You're going to have to make sure they're hitting KPIs. You're going to have to do weekly team meetings, maybe bi-weekly, depending on how you're doing things, right? You're still going to have to take care of these things, right? Now, our training process for our VAs looks like this. Now, this is a picture of a document, right? I'm not just going to, leak all my SOPs and all my scripts because that would have been very wise of me to do. But this is how it looks, and this is what we give to a VA, right? So a VA gets this. They're going to learn about our compensation structure, right? We actually send them this video separately to this document before we send them anything to make sure they understand what they have to do and how much they're being paid for it. Once they say, yes, I'm fine with this, we send them the rest of the document. Then they watch, this is how, or this is the sales script. We explain the sales script to them, right? And this specific picture, because we are doing marketing in Canada, United States, and the United Kingdom, the specific one is specifically for roofing companies or just general home improvement companies in the United Kingdom. And then we have 3 of these documents, obviously, one for, Canada, one for US, and one for the UK, right? Then we teach them how to understand sales. Right now, this isn't like some 32-hour extensive program, right? This is like a quick 30-minute video just going over the basics of sales. Like the basics of sales, like, listen, you're an appointment setter, just book the appointment. Don't even answer objections. If they ask you all these questions, just give them a vague answer. Let's book an appointment. Let's book an appointment. We just teach them the fundamentals, right? We're not going into very in-depth here. This isn't rocket science. Then we teach them how to create Facebook accounts, right? Because this model is fully self-sustaining, right? Fully self-sustaining. The VAs create their own Facebook accounts, right? So they don't have to do anything, right? We don't have to do anything. They do everything on their own, right? Then we give them an SOP on how to find the leads. How to find the leads. And matter of fact, I didn't even make a documentation for that part. I'm going to show you guys because that's one of the biggest questions I get. How do I find the leads, right? And the last part is you have to watch and understand how to book a meeting, right? What we do is we have like a Calendly, and then the person or the appointment setter books in the Calendly, but he doesn't give that Calendly to the actual person he's speaking to. He just says like, hey, does Tuesday at 5:30 work? And the guy's like, yeah, it works. And then you book it in, you put their information in, and that goes to our pipeline. And obviously we have all of the other operations and sales call, and we sign them, collect cash, and we go from there, right? Now, once they watch all these videos, they're completely ready to start doing outreach, right? Then we just let them start. And from there, they have access to our calendar link where they book in time directly with the prospect, right? Unfortunately, I'm not going to share my exact SOPs or my exact script just because I know there's going to be like literally 500 people who are going to just try to copy my agency entirely. So I won't do that. I'm going to try to help you guys as much as possible without sharing my exact details. But that's basically how we do things. And obviously, I did mention I'll show you guys how to get leads. Now, getting leads on Facebook is super, super simple, right? Literally just go to facebook.com, right? Now, let's say, for example, you do home improvement companies, right? Let's just say you do. I'll literally just search. Let's say roofing. And like personally, I'm from New York, right? Let's say Brooklyn, New York. I don't live in New York anymore, but let's just say Brooklyn or roofing in Brooklyn, right? Put that in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right here to pages, and then location. And I'm just going to type in Brooklyn, New York. Sometimes it gets detected automatically. Sometimes it doesn't. But just make sure you select Brooklyn, or of course it's just not going to work. Like now I live in Old Bridge, right? Old Bridge is in New Jersey. So let's try Old Bridge and I'll show you guys how that looks, right? Put in Old Bridge. So Old Bridge, New Jersey. You select that. And here now you're seeing, and I'll just delete the Old Bridge. I'll just put roofing, right? And now you see, you come here, location, Old Bridge, New Jersey. Now here there's 4 companies in this specific part of New Jersey, right? You're going to come here, delete this, maybe now like a different part, maybe like or Edison, that's a big part of New Jersey, right? I put in Edison, New Jersey. Look at this, look how many companies there are now, right? There's more, right? Then I'm going to type in Matawan now, right? Matawan, New Jersey. Boom, there's more leads. And what I'll literally do is I'll just straight up search up cities in New Jersey, right? Go here, boom, there's a list. Yoink, come here, put this into here, Abscon, New Jersey, scrape this, right? And obviously the VAs do this. It's not me doing this, but you come here, take this, scrape this, boom. And that's just how it works. Now, for those of you who follow me, and this isn't the first time you're seeing this video, you might have heard of Messenger Flow, right? Messenger Flow is actually a SaaS tool that I'm working on that's going to automate all of this, And this isn't a plug. It's not done yet. I'm not looking to sell you anything, but I'm just saying, it works so well. I went out of my way to go get a developer and build a business around this because I know how effective it is firsthand. I've literally seen this generate hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? This is a big thing, and it's untapped. Nobody does this for some reason. And this doesn't just work for home improvement companies, right? This works for real estate agents, mortgage agents, anybody who does anything B2C, right? Let's say you serve dentists, right? Oh, chiropractors. You go in here, you type in dentist, there you're going to come to pages. These are dentists, right? Typically, with something like this, you might want to even explore something like this, maybe using a category, right? But Facebook is a big platform. There's billions of users, right? There's definitely a way for you to use this in a way that's going to be beneficial for you, right? You obviously have to tweak the system a little bit. If you're in home improvement, then you're golden because you can just do exactly what I'm doing. But if you have other niches and you are B2C, then you can do this easily, right? I've even considered, maybe there's some B2B applications to this. Like, for example, if you do Facebook ads, right? Like I do Facebook ads. My company's called Aircool Marketing. We have a business manager. In order for us to have a business manager, we need to have a business Facebook page. If I have a Facebook page, I can be messaged. And if you cold email me, you're not getting a response. You cold call me, you're not getting a response. You cold DM me on Facebook, I'll at least see it, right? So it's kind of like a position where if you can figure out how to get the leads, you can do some crazy shit on here because your competition's not messaging leads on here, right? But anyways, video's gone on for 17 minutes. I really do hope that this was valuable. If it was, then drop me a follow on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, wherever you're watching this, and enjoy. And until next time, bye.